Welcome, everybody, to the American Space Museum. I'm Mark Marquette, and we're so glad you're with us to stay curious. We've got two astronaut birthdays today and a very special announcement with a major space artist that we're going to partner with, so stay tuned for that. But Marty Winkle's got behind me a sunrise that I got up. Yeah, I'm a little sleepy here because I've been getting up about 7 in the morning, and I'm a stargazer. I'm a night owl, okay? But the beautiful sun rising, yesterday's shot over pad 39B, America's moonport there. So a lot of photographers have been out there getting a one-of-a-kind picture. You never know if it's going to be clear or not. In fact, this morning it was kind of cloudy, and though the sun came up about right over here, I did get the outline of the rocket. Tomorrow, if it's clear, it'll be perfect from my standpoint. But we sure appreciate our sponsor of Stay Curious, the Hyatt Place, Kennedy Space Center in Titusville. We're coming to you from the Hyatt Place studios inside the American Space Museum in downtown Titusville, just 9 miles away from where the sun rose this morning over our moonport. Actually, it's 11 miles away. I checked that on Google Maps there. And Marty Winkle, my friend, co-producer, and engineering the Streamlabs studio that we've so grateful that Jessica Galloway's taught us these tricks, how to make our program look pretty snappy. After all, this is episode 530. 530 episodes, Marty, we logged today. 2-year anniversary was last Wednesday, and our board of directors acknowledged that. We're grateful for that. But the 530 episodes coming to you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify. Tell your friends to like, share, follow, or subscribe to us. And we have in our audience, Marty, Larry and Anna Daniel. And they are from Seattle, Washington. Hi, folks. Hope you've enjoyed our museum there. Up in Seattle, you've been up in the, that's Boeing territory and Blue Origin territory up there. So you're, how's that fueling the economy up there in Seattle?
It does help.
Does help, huh? Okay, well, we're glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy our Stay Curious program today. Yeah, go ahead. Marty's going to zoom around there and break the illusion that I'm in space there. Hey there, there's Anna and Larry Daniel. Thank you all for coming in and staying curious today. How do you like the museum? I know you've been in a few space museums.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. It's great.
Well, we're proud of the one-of-a-kind things we have. Everything has the paperwork to prove that it is what it is. Even our wonderful shuttle models were built 50 years ago to show the Nixon administration what they were thinking about when, in April 1972, Congress approved $5.5 billion to build the space shuttle. And we're going to talk about that Saturday, April 16th. The wheels are in motion. Karen Conklin, my director, and myself have been working hard the last week and a couple days to put together the program. This is a beautiful photograph by Tom Yusiak. Hi, Tom. Talked to Tom last night, Marty, and it was 10 degrees wind chill in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So, and I had to tell him I had to take my long sleeve shirt off on the back porch because I was a little warm at about 9 o'clock at night. So this is a free admission. We decided, Karen, our executive director, decided we want to give back to the space workers on this kind of under the radar anniversary. 50 years in 1972, April, is when Congress approved the money for the space transportation system, and it literally changed our society and our whole world with the wonderful things that are now going on the International Space Station, built by 35 shuttle missions. So we're going to have a big time talking about that, and we're going to start sharing with you some concepts of 50 years ago, what that shuttle would look like. Here it looks like a space tug out of Star Wars, gigantic space plane there. But of course, the main purpose was to take satellites to space, even repair a few of them. Happy birthdays are in order now here on Stay Curious Marty. And here we wish a happy 57th birthday to astronaut Bill O'Flynn. Okay, he was born March 29th, 1965 in Fort Belvoir, Virginia. But he was raised in Anchorage, Alaska. All right, he considers Alaska to be his hometown, his home state. He's a real outdoorsman. William Anthony Bill O'Flynn is a freelance adventure writer now and photographer. He was the pilot of STS-116 in December 2006, and he probably would have been a pilot again and possibly a commander had he not gotten in a love triangle. That's right, he's the famous astronaut male that two women were fighting over. One of them, Lisa Nowak, who I'm just going to read it like it is. O'Flynn gained media attention in February 2007 when fellow astronaut Lisa Nowak was arrested in Florida at the Orlando airport, right, Marty? And charged with attempting to kidnap his girlfriend. And who was Colleen Shipman, a Navy captain. They married, okay, and have a beautiful son out of this ordeal. Nowak pleaded guilty to felony burglary and a misdemeanor battery, and he admitted a 2-year affair with Shipman, and they became the first astronauts ever dismissed by NASA. And following the dismissal, NASA created its first astronaut code of conduct. And so Bill O'Flynn caught in the middle of, what's the song go? Something Between Two Lovers. It was kind of a hit in the 60s. I'll bet someone will tell us what that is.
I think Lisa got dismissed. I don't think he got dismissed. He was removed from the astronaut corps.
Well, Marty doesn't think he was dismissed, though.
Lisa was.
So we can fact check that. But it doesn't matter. He's lived happily ever after with Shipman. They have a son. He survived in when was that? 2009 or 10? No, he survived about 6 years ago. In 2016, a airplane failure. He flies all the time. A small float plane had engine failure in his 6-seat Regal Air, and he maneuvered it into some bushes and land without injuries near Judd Lake. 3 people were on board, and no one was injured. So he's quite a pilot, I'm sure. Happy birthday, Bill O'Flynn, 57 years old. And living up there in Alaska, maybe, and because he's from Alaska, we thought we'd have fun with flags again, okay, which we did yesterday on our Stay Curious, Star Curious Backyard Astronomy to show you the Big Dipper on the Alaskan flag. Yeah, Marty.
Yeah, Mark Yusiak said, torn between two lovers.
Mark Yusiak would know. Torn Between Two Lovers. That was a hit song in the 70s. And Daniels, you remember that? You're not old enough. Oh, you do? Okay. All right. We've got some guests here from Seattle. They're closer to Alaska. You ever gone up to Alaska?
Yes.
A little jump up there?
Yes.
The people love Alaska. When I managed a Ritz camera store, of all people went around the world, definitely Alaska was the #1 place. They just loved it. And you guys like it, huh?
Yes.
All right. Fun with flags to return again. We've got another birthday. This one didn't get into trouble with anybody. In fact, he's the current mayor of Houston suburb, Friendswood. A lot of astronauts live in Friendswood, so I'll bet he's, what do you think, Marty? Is he probably writing off a lot of speeding tickets from his astronaut friends, this mayor of Friendswood. Michael James Foreman, born this date, March 29th, 1957. In good gosh, where was it? He was born in Columbus, Ohio, where I went to college, and he grew up in Wadsworth, Ohio, where my father had his Taylorcraft airplane for decades after he divorced my mom. But Foreman's got 26 days in space on 2 shuttle flights, 5 spacewalks, 32 hours just out there as a satellite, looking outside at the world all to yourself. He's done that 5 times for 32 hours. Here he is being the mayor of Friendswood there. Of course he's going to remind people I'm an astronaut there with a little shuttle model there. he was on STS-123 that put the Canadian Special Purpose Dexterous Manipulator on the ISS, kind of a robotic arm, robotic looking creature arm. And then he was a crew member on STS-129 in there, and grew up in Wadsworth, Ohio. I'm very familiar with the airport there. Like I said, my uncle and my dad flew out of there all the time. And he's won a 24 Ohio knots okay out there from the great state, the Buckeye State. So happy 65th birthday. Ready to retire there is Mike Foreman. All right, what do we got up here next? We've got a special announcement, I believe, that we want to make, is that through our Stay Curious program, and particularly Tom and Mark Yusiak, we gained the attention of a noted artist around the world, a space artist himself, Chris Calley. And there is Chris Calley with his father, Paul, who has passed away in 2010. So his dad's been gone 12 years. And there's Chris Calley and Paul Calley, and you cannot find better artists anywhere, I'm just going to say. They're decked in Western garb because Paul Calley was one of the first artists on the Kennedy Space Center in 1963, the flight of Gordon Cooper, all right, Mercury Atlas 9, and I think it was in May. And James Webb wanted real artists to go out there and document their thing, watercolors, sketching, whatever, and Calley was one of them, and one of the early ones was also Andy Warhol. 8 artists were chosen. A guy named Hurd was among them. And we're going to learn on Stay Curious not only about the Calley space art, but we're going to learn about other space artists of note. And we're thrilled that Chris was attracted to us. He gets our museum. He wants to be involved in our museum. And we're happy to get him along, and we're going to do some things. But let's and I'm going to announce a couple things we're going to do here in just a minute. And but his dad created some of the most seminal images that not just in space art, but U.S. postage stamps, all right? He did over 40 U.S. postage stamps, including Douglas MacArthur and Robert Frost. His Western-themed artworks are in the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. But he was contracted by NASA to do, and the U.S. Postal Service to do the postage stamps that you're very familiar with, the double, well, here's the one, yeah, and the man on the moon, all right. The die for this was taken on Apollo 11 to the moon before they printed this stamp on there. How cool is that? And I'll have to ask Chris where that die is, if he's got it a paperweight holding some of his paints down or what. But this is the quality that we have acquired and attracted here at the American Space Museum, the wonderful Calleys. And we are going to promote them and embrace them and have a lot of fun with them. Chris will be here in June for the Astronaut Scholar Foundation Hall of Fame induction of 3 astronauts. So he will be on Stay Curious at that time, and we'll get we'll do a Google Meets or Zoom with Chris here. Yes, Marty.
Apple GMC is saying, hey, the audio was very quiet, but audio is up and no one else is commenting on it.
Okay.
He may have a problem on his.
Okay. Well, my audio here, I can always speak up, but everything looks good here, Marty, and you're seeing the levels. So thank you for pointing that out if you do have technical problems. This is celebrating Apollo, the artwork of Paul Calley. This is called Power to Go is the name of this piece. And it is like on a 20-foot mural at Huntsville, Alabama at the U.S. Rocket Center there. And Chris Calley put this together of his dad. There you see how they spell their name, Calle. Here is the seminal postage stamp. He also did the Gemini Ed White double stamp of his extravehicular activity, the double stamp of the lunar rover, Apollo 15. The cover of John Glenn on re-entering Earth and Mercury on National Geographic back in 1961, or 62, I mean. So, yes, you're going to hear a lot and see a lot of fabulous artwork as we promote the Callies. Here is Paul Callie's actual sketch on a U.S. postal cover. There is the Ed White GT4 EVA. 5 cents is what a stamp cost in 1966. And then 1969, boy, they had a big hike. They went to 10 cents. Okay. But that's airmail, Marty, that says on there. 10 cents airmail. Wow. Times have changed in 50 years. But, and of course, here is Chris Callie's lunar artwork on the 20th anniversary. And there, a airmail stamp is $2.40 instead of 10 cents, it looks there. But this is Chris's stamp. The stamp on the right, July 20th, 1989, 20 years to the date afterwards. And Chris has signed that. And then he made his own little sketch there on this U.S. postal cover. And you can go to Callie Space Art, and they will sell you a likeness of, or they will sell you one of his own drawings of his dad or Chris himself. There is Mr. Paul Callie. I wanted to just mention that he was born in Manhattan, New York. He went to the Pratt Institute. He served our country in the Army during the Korean War. And he started designing covers for the Saturday Evening Post and for a series of science fiction publications. Anybody under 40 who has no clue about how important the big oversized magazines of Life, Look, and Saturday Evening Post were to the American psyche, because these were almost like a PowerPoint program of photo journalism and artwork to educate people about things in our society. And he was early involved with that. And like I said, he passed away in 2010. And Chris himself is a youngster in his early 60s. So carrying on the legacy of his dad, they've been to many shows around the world, I would suspect. But Space Fest that the Poor family did, Kim Poor and his wife out in Tucson for years. They were always regulars out there. That's how they got connected with the Yusiak brothers. And that's how we got connected with them and Chris. So, well, what we're going to do is, now I like his beard, Marty. Maybe I should let mine grow out just a little bit longer there. And I don't know, Chris out there, I don't have any eyebrows like his dad, okay? He's got some killer eyebrows there. Here is just one piece of his Western art. Gosh, his Western art is just unbelievable. I mean, if this doesn't look like a photograph, this is what we call in the business G-clays, I believe, a very enhanced print version. But his artwork of the West includes North American natives and cowboys, and go check that out. Here is Chris. He's a handsome devil there, right, Marty? And Chris, Marty thanks you for helping the Grumman reunions over the years. Marty said you've been involved with the Grumman reunions over 10 years, sharing his art. And, of course, he is well known to all of the surviving astronauts of Apollo. This is a montage behind him. I see the Space Fest logo up there. I think that's from last year, that Chris said he's going to move into this montage type of artwork, and I really like it. But their forte is the pencil. In fact, they've written a book together, father and son, called The Pencil. And Chris also is an excellent pencil artist. His dad was the only artist allowed in the suit room of Apollo 11 when they were suiting up on July 16th that morning in 1969. And you're going to see one of those sketches. He quickly sketched everything going on, and then, of course, with his own memory, did some polished pencil sketches there. Here is the man, Neil Armstrong, a pencil sketch, a finished version that Mr. Paul Cowley did on that morning of July 16th, 1969. And we are going to, with this image, we're going to announce that Chris is excited because his whole family needs new T-shirts, he said. Chris is excited to partner with the American Space Museum, and we are going to do a series of T-shirts, golf shirts. We will put these images on a muscle shirt if you want, and women's T-shirts, okay? And we're getting with the T-shirt printer. We had a meeting yesterday with them. We're going to put 3 images, Cali images, on shirts, maybe once every quarter of the year, and we're going to pre-sell them to you to own original Cali artwork and on a T-shirt, a golf shirt, or a ladies' T-shirt. This is going to be on a T-shirt, probably white. We are going to use this beautiful image of Chris himself. This is a Gemini 4 spacewalk, is what he technically calls this picture. And of course, that is Chris Cowley's painting of Ed White on that historic spacewalk. I think March 4th is when that happened, 1965, if memory serves. And I try to remember things for Alzheimer defense, okay? But I love the technique here of all that black void is 3/4 of the picture almost. And we're going to put this on a T-shirt or a golf shirt or a muscle shirt. They don't call them muscle shirts, Marty. What do they call the?
Tank tops.
Tank tops. There you go, tank tops. There's another name for them that I'm not politically correct going to say that. Tank tops, yes. And then the third image we're going to release and offer, and we're getting the prices together. We hope to announce that here next week, or for sure by April 15th. This is Power to Go, one of the classic signature pictures. Look, Mr. Paul Cowley did that on oil. You can see the relief over there in the corner. An unreal focused, tight shot of the Atlas V rocket roaring off the pad. And this is, like I said, it's about a 20-foot mural in Huntsville. Many of you have seen it when you've gone to the U.S. Rocket Center in Alabama. Yeah, Marty.
Poor Mark Yusiak. Chris played his father Paul in the major motion picture First Man during the Apollo 11 breakfast scene. He's a Hollywood star now to add to his resume.
Chris Cowley, Hollywood star, SAG card he's probably getting in his wallet to just look at. Mark told us that?
Yep.
Mark Yusiak is Chris Cowley's personal photographer, butler, chauffeur, and booking agent, I think. But just teasing. They're great friends, and we're so happy that they want to be our friends here at the American Space Museum. Yes, and I brag about this movie, First Man, though some of you space geeks out there don't like it. It tells the backstory of the families. It does justice to the moon landing, but it shows the pathos of all these people dying around Neil Armstrong, from X-15 buddies to Ed White in the Apollo 1 fire. And when it shows the White Room, there's a scene in there, and Chris is in there portraying his dad, sketching in there. So
Not the White Room.
Not the White Room, Marty. Thank you. It's the
Quarters. Crew quarters.
in the ONC, the crew quarters.
ONC.
ONC.
It was back in
Operations and checkout.
MSOB back in those days.
Okay.
Manned Space Operations Building.
That's why Marty's here. It was not the Operations and Checkout, which is now the Neil Armstrong Museum. It was called the MSOB. I like saying that. How could I not forget that? The Manned Space Operations Building. Now that's some NASA originality. The Manned Spaceflight Operations Building, the MSOB. I'll bet everybody likes saying that. Yeah, I'll go back and watch the movie again, Marty. You and I can get some popcorn. We'll watch it together and do some research there. But thank you. We're going to have a lot of fun with Chris. His dad is who he is, a tremendous legend of space art. And Chris himself was handed the artist brush from the great Alan Bean. Of course, he was friends with the Apollo 12 moonwalker Alan Bean, who turned into a space artist, and they become friends over the years till Alan Bean passed away. And Alan Bean definitely, Chris told me, passed the paintbrush to him, or the pencil. I don't think Bean was much of a pencil person. So, well, thank you very much, Chris. Let's put his pretty face up there again to thank him for wanting to partner with the American Space Museum. There's just good things to come from this partnership, and I'm thrilled about it, not just for the museum, but to know quality people want to give, in our space industry. And this is one of them. So thank you very much. And like he just messaged me a little bit ago and said that his daughter, he's got a daughter, son, and wife, and they can't wait to have new Cali Art T-shirts. So we're going to make that happen, buddy. All right, and that's going to be this one by Chris, and this one by his dad, Power to Go, are going to be our first T-shirts as part of a fundraiser for the American Space Museum, so stay tuned for that. Well, I thought we'd end our Stay Curious program today with a few little pretty pictures. And this one by Mark Yusiak when he was on the Space Coast for the great rollout last week. He'll be back in June to photograph Chris Cali at the Astronaut Hall of Fame Awards. So I'm hoping I can carry one of their bags or something, because Marty is $800 a ticket for the Hall of Fame at the Kennedy Visitors Complex. It might be $850. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I'll be going on a ticket. A swig of rocket fuel on that. But so I've been out there prowling around a little bit myself, and you can take this picture if you're on the Space Coast from the Great Merritt Island Wildlife Refuge. I took this a couple nights ago, and in the twilight there, what we call the golden hour of sunlight. We wanted to say hi to Larry Pushkar out there. Larry, a great Stay Curious watcher from Michigan. Carlton Bailey's watching, of course. Thank you, Carlton. Jason Chrisafoli, Jason, thank you for watching. Christopher Mick is in I heard that he made it back home. We're going to show you some pictures of these people here. I'm saving them for a little promotion. Amy O'Donnell, Apogee Mick, Apogee. Apogee or Tomato. And Riche Sullivan and Keith Sewell, thank you for watching. Keith's one of our top fans. And Alex Newman is in Germany. All right. That's not Alex Carl, but Alex Newman.
That's a woman, I believe.
Oh, and that's a woman, Marty thinks. Okay. All right. Well, I got a grandbaby named Max, so Alex can be a woman's name. Thank you all for watching. Hope you are excited, as we are, to partner with the Cali Space Art. And go check it out yourself. It'll blow your mind at how well known Mr. Paul Cali is to your eyes, but maybe not by name. One of my pretty pictures here. Here's another pretty picture with my name on the bottom. That is out at the Biolab where we had an astronomy stargaze. I forgot to throw in a picture of us stargazing out there. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow when you come back to Stay Curious. So that light 3 miles away, though, is not illuminating those palm trees. I actually used a handheld remote flash to make that illusion, as once in a while I like being a little artsy myself. So Marty, thank you very much for a great program, and thank you, Jessica, for being there for us to sort out a little technical flaw before we got up there with you. And we are going to have a Thursday. We booked an Apollo shuttle interview conversation with a gentleman. I'll tell you who that is tomorrow and Thursday. Next Tuesday, we've got the Shuttles of April with the voice of NASA, Hugh Harris. Okay, on Tuesday, but next Monday, we're going to have Tom Yusiak here. Hi, Tom. He's watching there in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. His family's taking a vacation. So Monday, instead of Star Curious Backyard Astronomy, we're going to have Tom Yusiak, and then we're going to have Hugh Harris on back-to-back. And then we got another Thursday lined up. So we're getting back to doing some conversations again with space workers. But tomorrow we'll catch up and finalize the shuttles of March and look back at the great month of March and all those wonderful shuttle missions over 30 eras. And we'll have some space history. And who knows, maybe an astronaut birthday. I haven't looked ahead. As Marty Winkle and I, myself, Mark Marquette, we conclude episode 530, Marty, of our 2-year run of Stay Curious. So hope you're with us tomorrow to bridge the space between us.